The 2018-19 season is underway for the Bucknell Bison, and with it, the start of their quest to make the NCAA tournament for the third straight season. Tonight, the Bison look to avenge a loss on Saturday to Fairfield by welcoming in the Canisius Golden Griffins, who are going to be playing their first game of this campaign. And a very pleasant good evening and welcome courtside to Soika Pavilion alongside former Bison point guard Abe Badmus. My name is Joe Vasile, and Abe, this is a much different looking Bucknell team than the last 2 years.
This season is all about one thing: out with the old and in with the new. Bucknell's got a new look. They got new uniforms, but more importantly, they have a brand new lineup. And with that, you lose 3 1,000-point scorers. You got to make up for the scoring somehow, and it's going to take a collective effort for Bucknell to win a game like this against a team at home.
Yeah, Canisius, a tough team. They were the regular season champions in the Metro Atlantic Conference last year, and they return most of their core, including preseason MAAC Player of the Year, Isaiah Reese.
You said it. Preseason Player of the Year in the MAC. This guy jumps out on tape. He can score in a myriad of ways. Last season, of the 33 games they played, he scored in double digits 28 times. He's going to get his points. It's all about making sure the rest of his team doesn't complement his production.
And meanwhile, for the Bucknell Bison, they're going to be looking to the hands of Kimball McKenzie to lead them in terms of scoring.
Riddled with injury last year, Kimball's off to a great start. Had a career high in the season opener. He is going to look to get scoring early and often, and also look out for his intense leadership. He is as good as they get in the college basketball game.
He certainly is. Abe, I'll ask you now for your Coast keys to the game for the Canisius Golden Griffins.
In order for the Golden Griffins to win, they have to rebound by committee. Last year, they lost the rebound margin nearly every game. Can't do that on the road if you want to win.
Yeah, and now how about for the Bucknell Bison? What do they have to do to get back in the win column?
Bucknell has to make sure that they defend without fouling. Canisius is a team with a lot of guards. They love to get in the lane. They love to draw you up with fakes. You got to stay disciplined and keep them off the line.
We'll now send it to the third member of our broadcast crew today, standing by with Bucknell head coach Nathan Davis.
Thanks, Joe. Okay, I have Coach right before tip-off here. This Canisius team, they haven't played a game, so maybe a little hard to scout. What do you know about them? How do you look to attack them tonight?
Well, obviously, you go back and watch what they did last year, and they've got a lot of guys returning off a really good team. And so we've taken a look at that. We've checked with some of the people they played in the preseason, their scrimmages, to see what they were doing, and then see they were doing a lot of the similar stuff. So in that respect, we feel pretty good about where we are.
All right, looking forward to a good one. Maybe not as close as your past two. Let's get a little comfortable win tonight, okay, Coach?
I don't care how it is, as long as we have one more point than them.
All right, Joe, let's get the action going.
Great stuff, Paul. We'll return after this break on the Office Depot Office Max pregame show and get you the daily items starting lineups from Soika Pavilion. This is Bucknell Bison basketball.
Bucknell Bison basketball on MyTV WQMY is brought to you by Fairfield Auto, Wendy's, quality is our choice, and by Geisinger.
And welcome you back here to Soika Pavilion, live alongside Abe Badmus. Joe Vasile with you on the Office Depot Office Max pregame show. You see there on your screen the daily item starting lineup for the Canisius Golden Griffins. Abe, we talked about their talented guards. Isaiah Reese, Takal Molson was a preseason all-second team selection in the Metro Atlantic Conference, and a lot of talent up and down this starting five.
This is one of the better lineups you'll see Bucknell go up against this season. And it's going to take a Herculean effort in order to keep them from surmounting the Bison tonight.
Head coach of the Canisius Golden Griffins in his third season with the university or the college is Reggie Witherspoon. Spent a lot of time at the University of Buffalo as well. Let's take a look at the daily item starting lineup for Nate Davis's Bucknell Bison. There you see it, same five that they rolled out on Saturday against Fairfield. Obviously, Paul Newman getting his second career start at the center spot in the place of the injured Nate Sestina.
Paul Newman is one of the most improved players, I would say, in the Patriot League period. I think he's going to have an impactful game tonight. He's going to have every opportunity to do so. So let's see how he does.
It certainly should be interesting there. You see Nate Sestina dressed in plain clothes, a little bit of a walking boot on his left leg. And you take a look at the head coach for the Bucknell Bison. This now year number 4 for Nathan Davis. He's won 3 regular season titles in the Patriot League, 2 Patriot League tournament champions, and of course the 2 games of the NCAA tournament against Michigan State a couple of years ago, or rather last year I should say, and then a couple of years ago as well in the tournament. West Virginia, they actually played that game up at the KeyBank Center, where Canisius will occasionally play a home game up in Buffalo. So just a little interesting connection there between these 2 schools as well.
Coach Davis keeps racking up the accolades, but this season, if he gets to where he usually is used to getting, is probably going to be one of the best accomplishments in his coaching career.
There you see the Bucknell Bison in the home whites today. Canisius in the road golds. Canisius playing their first game of the season. It's just them and the University of Colorado entering tonight, who have not played across the 353 Division I programs in the NCAA. It's Paul Newman taking the center jump against Jelani White, 6'7", 190. The sophomore Jelani White against the sophomore 6'9", 234 of Paul Newman. It's won by White and controlled by Canisius in the early going. So the Golden Griffins will put their offense to work on the opening possession.
And this team loves to move the ball, get it around, reverse, and like you see, our young man here, Hitchin, getting off with a good start.
And Scott Hitchin with the bucket inside for the Golden Griffins. They like to have a lot of ball movement on the offensive side. That's been their MO under Reggie Witherspoon. Jimmy Sotos running the point for the Bucknell Bison. Stepping into his starting role this year after the graduation of Stephen Brown, as Bruce Moore off with his shot. He'll head down the other way.
And that was a good possession. You don't always get a score, but that was a good shot. Bruce Moore, I've seen him take that shot. I've seen him make that shot. That's what you want to see early in the game.
Here you take a look at the last time these 2 teams faced. It was in 2002. That game was at Davis Gym. Alley-oop for Jelani White, and it's 4-0 Canisius.
And that's one of the 4 or 5 types of actions you'll see tonight. They move it quick, they cut hard. This is a very difficult team to guard on the perimeter.
Newman working on Hitchin. No good, rebounded by Isaiah Reese. Molson throws it away. He was looking for a man up top. Threw it a little bit behind Jelani White, and a turnover for Canisius, their first.
And you see some miscommunication amongst the team there. That's very uncharacteristic of a team that's this disciplined and experienced.
It's McKenzie holding on the right side as Bucknell got off to a slow start on Saturday against Fairfield, looking to avoid the similar fate today. Toomer the catch and shoot 3, too strong.
And those are the types of shots Avi Toomer is going to have to take and make this season, because they're going to play him honest.
Toomer's been more of a defensive player his first couple of years, but being asked this year to kind of contribute more on the offensive side for Bucknell.
If you notice, this is almost like watching a hot potato game. The ball is constantly moving.
That was Malik Johnson who had the shot for Canisius. Now Jimmy Sotos pulls up and drills a 3.
And I thought he should have did more of this earlier on in some of the games that they played previously, but that's a shot that he definitely needs to look for on the break.
Toomer comes up with a steal as Bruce Moore screams the loose ball. McKenzie has it blocked by Hitchin. Good job in transition D by Scott Hitchin to get back. Now Reese lines up a 3. Goes too long.
You saw that coming. Isaiah Reese played a few possessions, hadn't gotten one up. And the Griffins are off.
Sotos turns it over. Malik Johnson with the left hand, able to finish.
And just like that, 3 layups in 3 minutes.
Sotos looking to slow it down. They find McKenzie for a quick 3. Grabs his own rebound, then throws it off the Canisius player, Isaiah Reese, and out of bounds.
Heady play there by Kimball McKenzie, being guarded by the best offensive player potentially on the floor.
And Reese also, no slouch on the defensive end, led the Canisius Golden Griffins and was near the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference leaders in steals last year. Underneath, it's Newman.
Great awareness by Kibble McKenzie, drawing the defense, leaving it up there and lob for Newman.
Paul Newman averaging 11 points through the first 2 games of the season. He scored 14 points in total last year as Takal Molson is fouled hard by Jimmy Sotos. On his way to the basket, he'll head to the line and shoot 2.
Golden Griffins leave the floor so open. There's no one ever in the lane. You see the backdoor cut there, and luckily Jimmy Sotos was there to help and contest him right at the rim.
First foul against Sotos, first against the Griffins. You see Takal Molson last year, 68% from the free throw line, and he hits his first.
Takal Molson is one of the more athletic wings in the MAC. He shoots threes. He actually makes a lot of contested threes, actually.
Some moisture being taken up off the court over on the opposite ends, leading to this little bit of a delay before foul shot number 2 from Takal Molson. Was the Metro Atlantic Conference Rookie of the Year last year, first Canisius Golden Griffin to win that award since 2006-2007. He goes 2 for 2 at the stripe and puts Canisius back up by 3.
This is definitely a team that Reggie Witherspoon is excited about. A lot of youth, a lot of experience, and most of them are coming back next year.
Elbow jumper good from Jimmy Sotos. He's got 5 for the Bison.
And with a Nate Sestina out, people like Jimmy Sotos are going to have to be aggressive on the perimeter, looking for their shot early and often.
Bucknell getting set to make some substitutions on the next whistle. As Molson lines up a 3. Can't hit, but the rebound gets tipped out to him, and Canisius will get a second chance. Offensive foul against Canisius. It'll go down the other way.
And because of the pace of the game, Nate Davis recognizes that after the first media timeout, getting guys in and out, keep them fresh.
Timeout on the floor. Canisius leads by 1 here on MyTV. There's a reason why you come here. With every visit, we embrace our customers like family. We're the name you've trusted for over 32 years. Fairfield isn't just any dealership, we're the area's most trusted dealership. Fairfield, for fair deals, you're gonna love us. And at Wendy's, we're all about serving up fresh food, even if it means going the extra mile. When you walk through our doors, we do everything that we can to make everyone feel at home because our family extends through your community. Here at Soik Pavilion alongside Abe Badmus, Joe Vasile with you here tonight. Canisius on top of Bucknell by a single point, 15:52 left in the first half. And Abe, it's been a little bit of good and a little bit of bad for Bucknell in the early going.
Yeah, a little bit of good. You see the ball moving, you see shots going up, not going in necessarily. But then the bad part is they're giving up a lot of easy shots in the defensive end.
Andrew Funk, Walter Ellis, Ben Robertson all checked into the game out of the timeout. This is Robertson. There's somewhere to go. He finds the freshman Ellis. Both Ellis and Funk, very promising players for Bucknell as Newman stripped to the ball on the drive. Now it's Isaiah Reese. Tries to drive the baseline. He pushes off. And an offensive foul.
I didn't think he fully extended the arm, but that's the ref's call.
So another Canisius turnover there, 4th already. Let's take a look at tonight's marquee matchup, Abe. Should be a good one between Isaiah Reese and then Avi Toomer, who, as we mentioned earlier, have been one of the strongest defensive players for the Bison over the last several years.
He is definitely the defensive stopper. He has a very tough assignment tonight, trying to stop Isaiah Reese.
Newman drives and slams it!
What a slam by Paul Newman.
Big man throwing it down. And he's whistled for the foul as Scott Hitchin went up to shoot. Paul Newman, take a look at this dunk.
My goodness. Back in the day, we used to call that meet me at the apex. And Paul Newman certainly met him there.
Yeah, move over Ben Robertson. There's another dunker on this team.
But that's how a big man should come and impose his will on the game. Now they know when they meet him at the rim, he means business.
Scott Hitchin hits his first foul shot. And his first chance to start, an Ontario native. Another promising young player for this Canisius group, looking to take the next step forward this year. As Hitchin hits his second, Canisius goes back up by a point. Bruce Moore is checked in. Sotos has returned as well. Andrew Funk lines up a three and hits it too long.
Just some freshman jitters. That's a shot he can make, everybody. He is definitely an adroit shooter.
Andrew Funk looking for his first basket as we have another offensive foul called against Canisius. This is going to go against Scott Hitchin.
I think what you're seeing is the byproduct of playing your first game on the road.
Yep.
As a team like Canisius is. This team, this is not indicative of what they usually do. But if it's your first, got to get those pregame jitters out.
Yep, some tweaks to the rules this year as well. So Canisius for the first time playing under those new rules this year, with just allowing some more freedom of movement on both sides and trying to take some of the physicality out of the game.
We'll talk about that later, because I definitely have my opinions on that.
Walter Ellis, too strong in the three.
So you see two freshmen just missing the rim completely. That might have to do with just youth.
Number 10, Jonathan Sanks, is checked in for Canisius. He's another strong guard coming off the bench. He's the one who lines up a three and knocks it down. Senior out of Georgia. Gives Canisius a 4-point lead. Inside to Bruce Moore. They call a foul.
Great read by Jimmy Sotos. He recognized the double team. I thought if he held it a little bit longer, he would have found Bruce Moore wide open under the basket there.
One goes against Jonathan Sanks. Fourth against Canisius. Just get in ahead of the 5 count. Funk, whose brother plays for Army West Point, is one of the better point guards in the Patriot League. Miscommunication on the pass from Sotos. It splits Ben Robertson and Funk. It goes out of bounds.
And this is one of the knocks on Jimmy Sotos' game. He doesn't necessarily have the explosion, and sometimes he gets himself into some really precarious situations.
It's screened by Dante St. Louis, who's checked into the game at one of the forward spots for Canisius. It's number 23 down low, being worked on defensively by Bruce Moore. Three from Takal Molson misses the mark. Long ahead, here's Ellis in transition. Left it a little short. Ben Robertson tries to grab the rebound, but can't keep it in bounds.
Definitely his shot. If it was me, I think he probably needs to get into the lane, get himself established, maybe try to take a contested layup, draw some contact, get to the line. Again, this isn't a walk in the park for him. He's got to get acclimated to the speed of the game.
Bucknell making a substitution late as Avi Toomer comes back on the floor, halting the inbounds from Canisius. So do you chalk that up more to, I guess, maybe just freshman exuberance, or?
Yeah, I think you're seeing both of these freshmen just not necessarily putting their best foot forward right now.
Jonathan Sanks now with 5 points off the bench for the Griffins. An offensive foul called against Bucknell.
And now you see a string of possessions where the Bison haven't necessarily gotten a good shot, and you see the cascade effect. And now, hopefully, they can stop the Golden Griffins from getting yet another basket.
And a 7-0 run for Canisius over the last 2.5 minutes. Malik Johnson got that headband on, dribbling around. They dump it for Faulkner. Jabril Faulkner can't finish, neither can Dante St. Louis, and Funk grabs the miss.
Great defensive stance there.
Soto's another three.
And that's his game. Find space, hit open shots. He can hit them off the dribble with the best of them.
He's got 8 points already here in the first quarter, and he pulls Bucknell back within 3.
You see the Bison switching screens now and all interchanges. It's giving them a better opportunity to not get beat off the dribble.
3 on the way, and goes down from Takal Molson.
Takal Molson probably hits more contested threes than anyone I've seen in a long time.
Nate Jones is on the floor for Bucknell for the first time this season. He missed the first couple of games. Spent a lot of time injured the last few years as Nate. Good to see him back and healthy. Moore's spin around move inside, can't get it to go.
Coach Davis really searching and digging to find some sort of life in this lineup.
Jabril Faulkner knocks down a straightaway 3. Canisius by 9 all of a sudden.
Big possession here for the Bison. Got to stop the bleeding.
It's a 13-3 Canisius run. Foul down on the floor. Will go against Canisius. It'll be their 5th, and it'll bring us to a timeout down on the floor. The Golden Griffins on a 13-3 run. Knock it down a couple of big 3-pointers to take a 9-point lead. Geisinger Orthopedics and Sports Medicine certified athletic trainers and physicians are proud to support the Bucknell Bison. Call Geisinger Orthopedics and Sports Medicine today to schedule an appointment, 866-957-1401, or visit geisinger.org. Back inside Selke Pavilion alongside former Bison point guard Abe Badmus. Joe Vasile here with you today. You take a look, and I think, Abe, this kind of tells the story of it. Canisius up 21-12 and outshooting the Bison by a hefty percentage.
Yeah, definitely. 3 for 5 from the three-point line versus Bucknell's 2 from 6. But the most glaring stat right now, 10 rebounds for the Golden Griffins to the Bucknell Bison's 5.
With the foul down on the floor against Canisius, Bucknell a baseline inbound. This will be Jimmy Soto's taking it. Looking for somewhere to go, floats it in for Toomer right ahead of the 5 count. Canisius has defended those baseline inbounds well the first couple of times we've seen him. Kimball McKenzie, the 3 for Bucknell. That's good to get him going, his first 3 points of the night.
He must have heard me talking. Hopefully he makes a few more of those tonight.
Jordan Henderson off the bench. Freshman for Canisius, had the ball there for a moment. Now Johnson Alls triples off a foot of Avi Toomer and out of bounds.
Not fully characteristic of what you normally see but from Bucknell defensively, but they are switching a full 1 through 5 right now. So at times you might find a guy like Paul Newman on a Malik Johnson.
That'd be some kind of mismatch. 5'10" Johnson against 6'9" Newman. At least that's just what they're listed at. Too strong out of the hands of Isaiah Reese. Now Avi Toomer running the break for the Bison. Newman collapses around him. 3 from Jones doesn't go. Isaiah Reese grabs the miss.
But even getting the ball there in the post, you see what kind of things that does for your offense. Gave Nate Jones an open 3-point shot at the top of the key.
Reese knocks down at 3 for Canisius. First 3 points for him today.
It was only a matter of time, Joe.
Nice screen from Newman. He rolls to the basket. Sotos floats it high off the glass.
Wow, are you kidding me? Left hand floater high off the glass. You don't see that every day. What a skilled guard he is.
10 points for the freshman as Reese drives in, blocked by Newman. Now here's Jones, 2-on-1 with McKenzie trailing. His shot is blocked and he goes careening into the student section.
Reese
5-on-4 for Canisius briefly.
Reese wants it back.
Here's Reese wide open for three. Not going to miss that too often.
That is not a good sign. He's seen 2 go up and 2 go in. You better believe he's trying to get number 3 next possession.
10-point Canisius lead, cut down to 8 by Avi Toomer. His first 2 points of the night as both teams getting ready to make subs. Johnson Alls gives to Malik Johnson. Great perimeter ball movement from Canisius all night. Really like to spread the floor outside.
Ball moves so quickly.
Faulkner, another 3.
You have to be on alert because they pass and they shoot just as good as anybody.
Canisius 6 of 9 from beyond the arc to start the game. Collision with Newman, no whistle. McKenzie a 3. He's got 6.
And thanks for the good shooting of Jimmy Sotos and Kibble McKenzie, Bison are staying in this game. That is their only hope at this point. They really need to buckle down on defense.
Juan Johnson Alls, a junior college transfer, gives to Henderson, whose shot is no good. Sotos grabs the rebound. That's been an area that he's been strong in this year as well. Newman shoulder faking inside. His shot was no good. Jordan Henderson had some help defense.
Not sure he knew what he wanted to do with that. That will take time to just have a presence in the post.
Reese feeds Henderson up high. And another offensive foul called against Canisius. They now have 6 team fouls. 4 of them have been offensive fouls. That'll bring us to another timeout down to the floor. Inside 7 minutes left to go in the first half. Canisius on top of Bucknell by 8, but the Bison starting to heat up from beyond the arc. Let's check in with the third member of our broadcast crew, Paul Grippy, standing by down to the floor.
Hey, thanks, Joe. Want to do a little bit of a player spotlight here, talk about one of the Bucknell Bison. He's number 1 on the floor, and I guess number 1 in your hearts, too. Kimball McKenzie comes to Bucknell. He went to high school in Baltimore, but he's actually from Ontario. Yes, he is a Canadian. Off to a great start this season. In the opening game against St. Bonaventure, he had 28 points, and 21 of them came after halftime. But he's most noted for his free throw shooting. Last year on the season, 28 for 29. He didn't miss a single free throw until the very last game, and that was actually 34 made free throws in a row. This year he is so far 7 of 10 from the free throw line. So Joe, Bucknell recruits all the way from Canada. Kendall McKenzie wearing number 1, playing the position of shooting guard and making some nice contributions to the team.
Thank you very much, Paul. We'd like to remind you that since 1945, Blue Ribbon Dairy has been serving Northeast and Central Pennsylvania the freshest dairy and homemade ice cream. They offer a full line of dairy products and daily delivery to customers throughout Pennsylvania. Call Blue Ribbon Dairy today to discuss your wholesale dairy needs, or stop by their ice cream shop for a scoop of your favorite flavor or one of their hundreds of milkshakes and sundaes. That's Blue Ribbon Farm Dairy. Alongside A. Badmus, Joe Vasile, you just met Paul Grippy, third member of our broadcast crew today. It's Canisius 30, Bucknell 22. You see on the bottom of your screen. Canisius been shooting the lights out, over 52% from the floor, but Bucknell's starting to heat up themselves.
Starting to heat up, hot shooting from both Kimball McKenzie and Jimmy Sotos. However, no assisted threes. That is the key.
This is Andrew Funk. Dump it in for Newman. Newman again. Wave it off down to the floor, foul. That's going to be number 7 against Canisius, so a 1-and-1 coming for Paul Newman.
Like I said before, you're talking 6 assists to 2 assists in the game. Canisius is moving the ball, spreading it out, and making you close them out with really, really long distances.
So Bucknell goes to the free throw line for the first time today. This has been a major bugaboo for them throughout the first 2 games, shooting just 62% as a team for the line as Paul Newman hits his first. And a nice applause from the fans who know about the woes for the game on Saturday, where Bucknell was just 13 for 22. That's 59% in a 2-point loss against Fairfield.
Yeah, definitely a bright spot. You see Paul Newman. We saw him working on his release earlier today and knocked down the first one, but just couldn't connect on the second.
So the Canisius lead down to 7. We reach the waning minutes of the first half. This is Molson driving in through a double team to call Molson able to finish.
Just too easy. Just too easy to call. Molson takes layups like that in warm-ups. You gotta have some sort of resistance.
Robertson dishing to McKenzie. They cycle it around for Funk. Pump fake. Now McKenzie, an open look. Just off the mark, out of bounds. Off Bucknell. Oh boy, not so sure about that one. And they quickly reverse it and give it to Bucknell.
He knew better on that one, but that was probably the best possession you've seen from Bucknell tonight. Everyone touched the ball. They had everyone flying around defensively. They got an open shot from their best shooter, just couldn't knock it down.
Bucknell's had some issues on these baseline inbounds. Not so much this time, though. Adjusted to the way Canisius has been playing them. It's McKenzie directing traffic. Funk, a heck of a pump fake. End up calling an offensive foul, though, away from the ball against Bruce Moore.
I know you guys have heard of the term playing small, but Coach Davis is going with the ultimate small ball right now. Bruce Moore at the 5. Ben Robertson at the 4. This is not a characteristic lineup for them.
A lot of shooters out on the floor for the Bison, though, as they trail by 9. Reese spins around.
Oh my
Silky
goodness.
smooth.
My oh my. Stop on the dime, spin, shoot a fadeaway. That is a pro-level move.
Both Isaiah Reese and Takal Molson, after last year, declared for the NBA draft. Didn't hire agents and then withdrew their names. But both guys who are looking at pro careers after as White is blocked by Ellis.
Incredible effort by Ellis, incredible. To get back and stop for sure 2 points.
Let's take another look at Walter Ellis in number 2, coming flying in with a clean block on Jelani White. Still a 11-point lead, rather, for Canisius. White blocked again by Ben Robertson. This one goes out of bounds off Bucknell as Robertson dove to try and save it.
Got to see a little bit more resistance, fighting for post play there. White really had a layup if he had more structure down low.
And the inbound is thrown clear out of bounds by Malik Johnson. But Canisius still up by 11 points here in the first half. Bucknell was behind by 15 in the first half on Saturday to Fairfield before they finally came back and tied it up late. With about 9 seconds left to go, Kibble McKenzie had a game-tying shot. A foul called against the Canisius Golden Griffins. This is down on the floor, but it's number 8. So another 1-and-1 coming for the Bison. It'll be Bruce Moore to the line to shoot it.
Nate Davis didn't put Bruce Moore in there to play small. He put Bruce Moore in there to play big. He's got him playing down low, fighting for post position, getting touches in the post. Let's see if he capitalizes here at the line. Could be something that they can dig into that well later on in the game.
The foul is the second against Jelani White, now one of 3 Canisius players with 2 fouls. Moore's first end of the 1-and-1 is good, so earns himself a second. Also in some foul trouble for Canisius, Jonathan Sanks, who picked up 2 quick fouls off the bench, and Scott Hitchens. So those are 2 front court players for the Griffins that have found themselves in some early foul trouble. Moore is 2 for 2 from the stripe. Bucknell starting to generate some more heat offensively, still being out-rebounded, though, by Canisius, 17-8.
Yeah, that is quite the margin there.
Good from Takal Molson.
I told you, this guy takes and makes contested shots, especially from three, more than anyone I've seen in the college game this year.
Moore drives in on St. Louis, kicks out to Robertson. He pumps and drives. First 2 points of the night for Ben Robertson.
Beautiful, and he's capable of that. He's capable, he has the foot speed and the athleticism to play with a team just like this.
Reese, beautiful reverse layup. My goodness.
My, oh my. Putting that English on it to manipulate the ball with your offhand, this Reese is quite a player.
Kick out to Funk. Long two is good, and there's the first collegiate points in the career for Andrew Funk. Reese, contested three doesn't go. Ellis grabs the miss.
Would be great if they can capitalize on the fast break here.
Three from Bruce Moore doesn't go. Wasn't a bad look that time for Moore, who, despite a guy who'll play the 4 and the 5, can hit those shots from outside.
Certainly can. See Canisius slowing it down, want to control the pace of this game, get a really high quality shot here.
It's Kawan Johnson alls with a quick touch. Now over to Takal Molson. Steps back from 18, no. Good rebounding by the Bison. Soto's thought about the long three, instead the scoop.
I think Sotos is going to have to decide what kind of guard he wants to be. Right now, we've seen how effective he is shooting the ball.
Oh, my.
My. Speaking of shooting the ball, Isaiah Reese is putting on a clinic in this first half.
13 points for Reese, high score on both sides. Bucknell trails by 13, largest deficit they've had. Funk, too short. Robertson trying to fight for the rebound. Johnson waits reinforcements, now drives in on Bruce Moore and gets fouled.
Yeah, you saw that a mile away. That was a mismatch.
That'll bring us to a timeout down on the floor. It's Canisius 42, Bucknell 29, with 2:12 left in the first. This is Bucknell Bison basketball. There's a reason why you come here. With every visit, we embrace our customers like family. We're the name you've trusted for over 32 years. Fairfield isn't just any dealership, we're the area's most trusted dealership. Fairfield, for fair deals. You're gonna love us. At Wendy's, we're all about serving up fresh food, even if it means going the extra mile. When you walk through our doors, we do what we can to make everyone feel at home, because our family extends through your community. 2:12 left to go in the first. It's Canisius 42, Bucknell 29, alongside a bad miss. Joe Vasile with you tonight here on WQMY. And we take a look at the three-pointers in this game. Canisius shooting the lights out from beyond the arc.
And that's only half of the story. They're getting by their men. They're creating long closeouts. That's why they're getting open three-pointers. It's the type of three-pointer that they're getting. Eight assists to 4 assists in the game. That's the 8 assists to 3 assists in the game. That's really the big difference.
Have to take a break as the game clock was inadvertently starting to run there, as was the shot clock. So we'll get the timing issues sorted out as you take a look there at Reggie Witherspoon, third-year head coach of the Canisius Golden Griffins. Also spent time at the University at Buffalo from 1999 to 2013. Had a lot of successful years out in Western New York. His second is good from Johnson. He goes 2 for 2 with the stripe. It's Canisius by 15 as Avi Toomer able to draw a blocking foul on the outside.
That is a tough call. That call could literally go either way if you ask me. However, we'll take it. Takal Molson, more fouls for him, the more he sits on the bench.
Takal Molson picks up his first. Isaiah Reese has 1. Scott Hitchin with 2. Jonathan Sanks with 2. Jelani White with 2 for Canisius. They have 9 as a team. As Toomer to the free throw line for the first time tonight. First to the 1-and-1 is no good, and it's rebounded by the Griffs. So Canisius with a chance to continue to expand this lead. Bucknell been scoreless for the last 2 minutes. Molson. And a blocking foul called against Kimball McKenzie.
Hard cutting, crisp passing. This is how you establish a 15-point lead with almost a minute and a half left to go in the first half.
That's a pretty good formula. They can't miss from three. They've stopped turning the ball over. Just great ball movement on the offensive side. Molson dribbles off Toomer's foot. Controlled though by Canisius. 8 on the shot clock. And a blocking foul whistled against Paul Newman.
Probably not fair on Paul Newman's part, but you see that for kids at home, when you're a guard, you want to drive right into the hip of the big on a pick and roll.
Especially that far from the basket. Paul Newman didn't play a ton last year, was kind of that third center behind Nada Folland and Nate Sestina. First of the 1-and-1 is up and good from Malik Johnson, so maybe not really the most comfortable yet at the college level in defending on those perimeter drops.
Absolutely, and when you got a guy like Malik Johnson, who is a vet, a seasoned vet in this game, he knows exactly how to take advantage of an inexperienced big guy.
Malik Johnson hits them both. He's now got 6 points in the game. Upped his scoring last year. He averaged just under 4 points a game as a freshman, scored almost 8 points a game last year. But like he's going to continue to have that mark go north.
Sky's the limit for him.
3 from Sotos. He strokes another, this time for the corner. Jimmy Sotos has not missed from 3-point range tonight. He's got 13 points.
In my humble opinion, I actually don't think Sotos shoots 3 enough. I think he needs to get more up, especially on the break where you know the defense isn't set.
Sotos is already 1 shy of a career high in points that he set earlier this season. Faulkner nearly walked on the perimeter. Johnson steps back on Ben Robertson at the end of the shot clock and hits.
Like I said, Malik Johnson's a seasoned vet. He knew exactly where his spot was. He got there with the step back and knocked it down.
Khalil Spear hands off to Toomer. Spear, another freshman in for Bucknell, checked in for the first time today. Rosen sets a screen for Sotos. Lines up a triple and gets fouled, shooting 3.
Might have gotten bailed out on that one. That was headed, I think it was about to hit one of the cheerleaders, that ball.
Take another look. A little bit off on that one.
Joe, you're too nice. That wasn't a little bit off. That was a lot of bit off.
Foul goes against Dante St. Louis. Spear, free throw line first time in his career, off the back rim and stays out.
When you see young guys miss long like this, that means they're very, very eager to make an impact in the game. This is a good sign, because when you're missing short, that means a little bit of nerves, and I don't think that's the case with these Bucknell freshmen.
That's a little bit much on that one as well, as Spear will try and hit the third.
I don't see the Bucknell guards communicating. We have Isaiah Reese back in the game. I hope someone picks him up, because this guy is catching fire.
Third, no good from Spear. He misses all 3 as the free throw shooting woes continue for Bucknell. They're now 3 of 8 from the line as we have a 30-second timeout taken by the Canisius Golden Griffins down on the floor. Geisinger Orthopedics and Sports Medicine's certified athletic trainers and physicians are proud to support the Bucknell Bison. Call Geisinger Orthopedics and Sports Medicine today to schedule an appointment, 866-957-1401, or visit geisinger.org. 21.7 seconds remaining here in the first. Canisius up 48-32. Bucknell continuing to struggle to get their footing about them on the offensive side here tonight, Abe. And Canisius will have the ball with the shot clock unplugged, so they have a chance here to hold for the last shot. And for Bucknell, you got to make sure you play good defense.
Absolutely. You know Reggie Weatherspoon has noticed some sort of weakness in the Bucknell defense. He's going to draw something specifically up for this moment right here to exploit Bucknell's weakness defensively.
Canisius running a weave up top, and an offensive foul, illegal screen called against Dante St. Louis. His feet were just set far too wide and got called for that offensive foul, his second. That'll give Bucknell one last possession at the end of the half, as Nathan Davis now will call a timeout.
Yes, look for Nathan Davis to get a shot potentially in the corner. I know he likes to run what we call a lot of hammer action and crackback action. That's what I suspect to see from the Bison with 5 seconds left in the first half.
You know, at Wendy's, we're all about serving up fresh food, even when it means going the extra mile. When you walk through our doors, we do what we can to make everyone feel at home, because our family extends through your community. So we'll see, Abe, whether Bucknell does opt to run one of those shots. We'll take a look at the 5 on the floor. It'll be Jimmy Sotos, Kimball McKenzie, Andrew Funk, Avi Toomer, and Khalil Spears. So if you can kind of put yourself in Coach Davis's shoes, who do you want having to take this shot here? There are about 1 or 2 options I would think that would come to mind immediately.
Yeah, 2 options, Kimball or Jimmy.
It'll be Kimball. The floater, good, but an offensive foul.
Looks like
and McKenzie is down. He hit the ground hard after that foul. We'll take a look at the replay and try to see what happens.
Yeah,
Monitor keeps going off, so I'm guessing he just hit the ground a little bit hard.
Got a little too he was really high in the air and just probably landed on the wrong, one of the wrong joints. And unfortunately, the most important part is that he's healthy, but he picked up another foul, unfortunately.
It's 2 now on McKenzie. 1.3 seconds for Canisius. They won't bother to try to get a shot off. And they'll be content to head into halftime with a 48-32 lead. Bucknell trailing by 16, largest that they've trailed by at any point this season. When we come back at halftime, we'll have a lot in store for you, so stick right with us here on MyTV.
You're watching Bucknell Bison basketball on MyTV WQMY.
Back at Soika Pavilion, it's Canisius leading Bucknell 48-32. And this is the Office Depot Office Max halftime show. I'm Paul Grippy, happy to be joined by a couple of ladies from the Bucknell basketball team. I have Ellie Mack here and I have Caitlin Slagus here, and they're off to a good start. The ladies are 2-0. So first of all, what do you think of your start being off to 2-0, and what's that mean to you?
Yeah, it was a really great start. We just beat Quinnipiac, who is the #1 mid-major school in the country, so that was obviously a really big win for us, and we're just trying to take this momentum into our game on Thursday against Drexel.
Thursday will be against Drexel. They're no slouch, but first an easy win against Monmouth, and then a little tighter win against Quinnipiac. What do you remember from that Quinnipiac game and how it went for you?
Yeah, I know we had a slow start. It was tied up at the end of the first quarter, but we really came out with a lot of firepower. And we knew coming out of halftime, we had 20 minutes left to accomplish a big win. And so we got a lot of ball movement. Shots started to fall for us.
Yeah, well, you're being a little modest. I know you had some terrific games, double-doubles in both games. Well, why don't you tell me about her? I mean, she has just been dominant in those first 2 games. What led up to that? Did you see that coming in the preseason? What's her contributions been?
Yeah, you know, Caitlin, she's a really good player. I know I have to play defense on her a lot in practice, so that's always really hard. I never want to play her, so yeah, just taking like the practice mentality back into the games, that's really helped her out, I think.
All right, so she says you're doing really good. You guys come in preseason #1. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a little bit of both. I mean, we know we have a target on our back, and we want to do everything we can to finish the season #1. So it's exciting to do. It's exciting to be number one.
Well, 2 years ago, you won the conference, went into the NCAA tournament. What is your goal this year? Realistic goal? What will make your team satisfied?
I would love to repeat that. I mean, I would be silly to not have that as a goal again. I mean, it's my last season here, and there's 5 or 4 other seniors with me, and that was such a memorable experience, winning here on the home court and then going to play Maryland at Maryland. So I would be silly to not want to go out any other way.
All right, so some good games coming up for the two of you, and then you'll get into the Patriot League schedule. But next up, you mentioned on Thursday, you'll be at Drexel. That's in Philadelphia. They're also preseason number 1 in their conference, just like Quinnipiac was and just like you guys are. So what do you know about this Drexel team as you prepare for Thursday?
Drexel, they're not a very big team. They have a lot of guards, so we can really use our size in the post to take advantage of that. I think they're number 15 in the mid-major poll, so it's going to be another really good game, and we're really looking forward to it.
You guys aren't loading up the cupcakes to start the season either. You got some tough teams. Do you like to start with that, or would you rather some easier teams?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good test for us in the preseason, kind of gets us ready for the league play when wins really start to matter. So, yeah, I think it's going to be good.
All right, good luck. Now, we will see the women on my TV, WQMY, February 9th against Lafayette. She said some nice things about you. You want to say something nice about her?
Ellie's great. She's so tough in practice. Mac attack for 3 all the time.
All right, Ellie Mack, Caitlin Slagus from the Bucknell women's basketball team. Thank you for joining us. Good luck this season. And we'll have more on the halftime show on the Office Depot, Office Max halftime show on WQMY, My TV.
Bucknell Bison Basketball on My TV WQMY is brought to you by Fairfield Auto, Wendy's, quality is our choice, and by Geisinger.
The Office Depot, Office Max halftime show continues, and joining me now from the Bucknell Athletic Department, Mr. Mike Trudnak. And Mike, you know, Bucknell basketball has been so successful. It's got a lot of fan support. We want to bring more fans out here, so we're running a bus trip this year, right? December 1st. Tell me what happens that day.
Yeah, so as soon as the band comes on. So on Saturday, September 1st, we're going to run a bus trip from northeastern Pennsylvania. So the goal is to bring the fans from Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, and bring them down here at a very inexpensive rate. So we're going to do $10 tickets. That's the bus, that's the ticket to the game, and you get 2 hours of shopping in beautiful downtown Lewisburg, dining. We have some great plans going on for the holiday special. It's going to be a great day, and we play Monmouth at 2 o'clock.
Okay, so yeah, that's a great deal. $10, a bus ride, a ticket to a terrific basketball game, Division I basketball, and walking around downtown Lewisburg, which is going to be very seasonal. They'll have it decorated and lots to do down there.
Yeah, I mean, the goal is again, we wanted something inexpensive for families to come out to. So for a family of 4 for $40 to get a bus trip to come down and walk around beautiful downtown Lewisburg. All the shops are decorated. It's straight out of like the 1950s, how everything's set up. And then a lot of the restaurants are running specials for the people on the bus. So it'll be a great time to come down and experience a college town for Division I college basketball.
Yeah, which here in this town, Bucknell basketball is an absolute passion like you can't believe. And to stretch that out a little further, certainly everyone loves college basketball, but to bring more people to Bucknell, it would just be great to expose this team to people even farther outside the area now.
Yeah, and that's the goal. I mean, I live up in the Northeast Market, and when I came down here 3 years ago, this was a hidden gem. And I wanted to figure out a way, how could we get more people from the Northeast Market down here and see how beautiful Lewisburg and Bucknell is. My wife and kids, Sophie and Evan, they come down here and they have a great time. They shop, they eat, they come to the game, they spend time with Bucky the mascot. It's just a great family environment. And when the college kids are here, like they're going to be that Saturday, this place is insane.
Okay, so December 1st is the bus trip. It's a Sunday, and it leaves, it's a Saturday or a
Saturday.
Saturday. December 1st leaves from PNC Field. Welcome to come down and see a game at Soika Pavilion. Joe and Abe will be back with the second half as the Office Depot, Office Max halftime show comes to an end on My TV, WQMY.
Bucknell Bison Basketball on My TV WQMY is brought to you by Fairfield Auto, Wendy's, quality is our choice, and by Geisinger.
Welcome you back courtside to Soika Pavilion at halftime. Canisius leading Bucknell 48-32 alongside Abe Admis, Joe Vasile. And Abe, it was not really a great first half for the Bucknell Bison. They were, quite frankly, just outplayed by the Golden Griffins, but they had some positive takeaways toward the end. Kimball McKenzie, Jimmy Sotos both got going offensively.
Two guys are really carrying the team and really keeping them in arm's length of the game, but the true story of the game is how well Canisius is playing. They've doubled Bucknell in rebounds. They've doubled them in assists. They've nearly doubled them in three-point shooting. This is their game. They deserve this lead. They've outplayed the Bison in nearly every aspect of the game.
Yeah, and you can certainly see this is Canisius' first game of the season. Very excited to get things going, and they've come out like a team absolutely on fire, poised for some good things this year. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from that first half. Again, for Bucknell, you see Jimmy Sotos knocking down a couple early threes.
And I think this is when he's at his best. He's attacking early when the defense isn't set.
But then Canisius, as you see, they just shot the lights out from three-point range in the first half. 8 of 13 from beyond the arc, including 13 points for that man, number 13, Isaiah Reese.
Isaiah Reese is a handful. Like I told you guys at before the game, he can do it and anywhere on the floor. He pops out on tape. This kid is an elite scorer.
But there were some highlights. You saw a big dunk from Paul Newman, a nice block from freshman Walter Ellis. And then, again, towards the end, Bucknell started to get going in, but the Golden Griffins were just too hot for too long in that first half. And Bucknell has done what they've done in their first two games against St. Bonaventure last Wednesday and then on Saturday against Fairfield. They've dug themselves a first half deficit that now they have to try to climb out of. They were able to do that in the first two games. We'll see if they're able to here.
They're definitely a second half team. Bucknell has hung their hat on playing 0-0 ball at the half. And basically what that means is there's no advantage. We're just going out and playing a brand new game in this half. Let's see how Bucknell responds. I can only imagine the type of message Nate Davis was giving to his team at halftime. You can be rest assured that there's going to be halftime adjustments.
Yeah, you saw there on your screen, Canisius out-rebounding Bucknell 22-11 in that first half. That's something that just simply cannot happen. Also, Canisius can't continue to shoot over 60% from three-point range in a half as well. Yep. By the way, fans, we remind you that this year, once again, every time the Bison hit a three-pointer here at home, Dunkin' Donuts going to donate 3 pounds of coffee to the Central PA Food Bank. So far, 15 pounds of coffee have been donated tonight with Bucknell's 5 3-point shots made. They're shooting 38% from 3 in the game so far. We'll see if they're able to catch fire from beyond the arc in half number 2. And work it inside for Paul Newman. Bucket good, and the foul. Picking up his third is Scott Hitchin.
I mentioned Nate Davis is going to make halftime adjustments. You see right then and there, they want to establish themselves in the paint. That is how they control the pace of this game.
And that's exactly what the Bison needed to come out in this second half. Not only get a bucket, now a chance for a three-point play, but continue keeping the Canisius bigs in foul trouble.
You had it right, Joe. Trying to take my job? Is that what you're trying to do?
Even a broken clock is right twice a day. Newman no good on the foul shot, so it'll stay a 14-point Canisius lead. Team expected to contend for a Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference championship this year. They won the regular season championship in a share. As the layup by Jelani White off a nice feed.
Bruce Moore just helped way too early, did not get back in time, and they ran the same play in the first half with the alley-oop, got him again in the second half.
Last year, Canisius went 15-3 in their conference. Ended up making the CBI postseason tournament. Pass tipped, deflects off Bruce Moore, goes out of bounds. A turnover for Bucknell, just their 8th of the game.
Cardinal sin, don't pick your dribble up if you have nowhere to put the ball. Jimmy Sotos knows that, and rest assured he will not do that again.
Dump it underneath for Jelani White. Johnson guarded by Sotos.
Mismatch here with Sotos. Ooh.
Hitchin had his shot blocked by Sotos, and it goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Griffs.
Nice heady play there by Jimmy Sotos. Had to help, got stuck there, and really made a really heady play, getting the turnover.
Take another look at the instant replay there. You see Sotos going up and
Ooh.
might have gotten away with a little slap on the wrist.
Might have. We won't tell anybody, though.
Moore driving, dribbles off his leg and out of bounds. Back-to-back turnovers.
It just seems like Bruce Moore is off rhythm tonight. That's a clear sweep through drive right. You see him do that in pregame just about all the time.
Jelani Whites. Now Reese with those 13 points in the first. 3 ball, good from Takal Molson. Molson's got 13, and he's 3 of 5 from deep tonight. Canisius making their first long-range shot of the half. Floater from Sotos, back of the rim and down. Boy, he's been on fire tonight. Now career high, 15 points.
What a masterful shot. Floater off of 1 foot, putting it up there so no one can get it. Really excellent shot there by Sotos.
Nearly comes away with the steal. Instead, Johnson drives in. Good defense by McKenzie to force the miss, but Hinchin cleans it up for the Griffins. 6 points for Scott Hitchin. He's got to be careful out there now on the defensive end with those 3 personal fouls. Canisius' lead up to 19. Sotos from 3. Automatic from deep tonight.
That's what he can do. Really, though, the most emphasis they should put on this game is on this side of the floor. They have to stop the Golden Griffins from getting easy, uncontested shots.
Back inside, White tries to dunk. Gets stuffed by the rim. It goes out, last touch by Bucknell, so it'll stay with Canisius, but not a good look when you go to dunk and you end up getting stuffed by the rim. We'll have a great look at it here.
This guy's usually a high flyer. I'm surprised he got hung there by the rim.
Reese, bounce pass for Hitchin. Moore came over defensively, but Hitchin's still able to get the points.
Great find there by Reese to find Hitchens on the cut. That's a masterful bounce pass.
Avi Toomer feeds Moore in the post. Backing down, White, Bruce Moore. Not able to get the finger roll.
Again, I think he's just a little off for some reason. He needs to get his rhythm back.
Canisius can push it over 20 with a basket here. White, shot blocked by Newman.
They have numbers.
2 on the night now for Newman. They bounce it ahead for him. He can't handle it cleanly, and another turnover for Bucknell. Their 3rd already here in the second half.
Coach Davis is searching just for a little bit of a glimmer of light, just so that he can stick with the group that can cut this lead down to at least 8 or 10.
Molson. Now it's Reese. Guarded by Toomer. Isaiah Reese draws a foul against Avi Toomer. That'll be his first against the Bison. That'll bring us to a timeout down on the floor with 15:41 left to go in the second half. Canisius up 18 on the Bison at 57-39. This is Bucknell Bison basketball. There's a reason why you come here. With every visit, we embrace our customers like family. We're the name you've trusted for over 32 years. Fairfield isn't just any dealership. We're the area's most trusted dealership. Fairfield, for fair deals. You're gonna love us. Back here at Soika Pavilion alongside Abe Badmus, Joe Vasile. You see the student section out in full force tonight, but the Bison still trailing 57-39 to the Canisius Golden Griffins. It's been a tough night for Bucknell, but some positives in the second half, but still needing to clamp down some more on defense.
Definitely need to clamp down on defense. Have to continue to feed the post, rebound the basketball, be alert. Plays like that is a clear sign that it is very early in the season And this is a team that is just not disciplined on the defensive end.
Andrew Funk with his first touch of the second half. Picks up his first collegiate points in half number one. And this guy, Nate Davis said, look, he hadn't made a shot coming into tonight, but he's going to make a lot of shots for us throughout his career. Robertson, reverse layup, good. Good ball movement from the Bison on that possession as they cut it back to within 18.
There needs to be some sort of resistance on the defensive end. High level of pressure, early help, and stellar rebounding.
Molson, wide open look. Can't connect. McKenzie grabs the rebound out in the corner. Can the Bison capitalize on a rare miss? McKenzie for three. No. Grabs the rebound out long now. Newman, lefty finish for Paul Newman, who has 9.
He's getting really, really good at establishing great post position, turning to his right shoulder and finishing. Let's see how he can do on the defensive end, because they are getting destroyed on this pick and roll.
Bucknell got a stop there last time. Can they come up with another here? Ball loose. Canisius holds on, but just 8 on the shot clock as they get it to Hitchin underneath. And eventually turn it over as Hitchin couldn't keep it clean. Swing it back, McKenzie, bang!
That is Bison basketball. Getting stops, getting open shots in the break. Let's see if they can continue to propel themselves with this run.
A 7-0 run for the Bucknell Bison. They trailed by 20, it's down to 13. Turnaround shot from Reese is good.
My goodness.
Isaiah Reese with 15 points. Long ahead, it's Robertson with a quick layup. Bison wastes no time at answering back.
I think Coach Davis has found a good group here to stick with, but they have to find a way to keep the ball out of Isaiah Reese's hands.
Pump fake from Jabril Faulkner. He gives it to Isaiah Reese. Worked on by Kimball McKenzie. Dishes out for Malik Johnson, who launches a 3. Too strong. Rebounded by Bucknell. Good team rebound between Newman. There's also Robertson, and Newman grabs the offensive miss, gets the putback, and we have a timeout taken by Canisius. Bucknell gets it down to single digits in 11-2 run. Unreal run here for the Bison to get this one back close. They trailed by 20. It's now 61-50, so I misspoke. It's now an 11-point deficit. But still, the Bison all of a sudden have come alive, and it's come with this on the defensive side that they've started to get better.
It's amazing how well you play offensively when you have really good defensive stops. We see here Paul Newman with the extra effort, getting up offensive rebounds, something they didn't do much in the first half, and now they're getting to do it.
We now throw it to the third member of our broadcast crew. Standing by on the sideline, it's Paul Grippy. Paul.
Hey, Joe. Well, Bucknell now in their third game of the season, and things are headed in full swing, but they're going to take a little break. The school is having an exam session this week and next week. They're going to have 12 days off, but here's the rest of the schedule for this year. Their next game will be Thanksgiving weekend, so that's November 25th, and that will be in the Great White North of the University of Vermont. After that, they play on Wednesday, November 28th against Northeastern, followed by Saturday, December 1st, they'll take on Monmouth. And then on December 4th, they head over to LaSalle in Philadelphia. And then after that, they'll head to Columbus, Ohio on December 15th to take on the Ohio State Buckeyes, a tough game out of the Big Ten. Following that, they go to St. Mary's in California on December 19th before they spend the holidays in Hawaii. That will be 3 games in Honolulu. The first one against another New England team. It'll be Rhode Island, and then depending on how they do against Rhode Island, it'll determine their second and third opponents. So Bucknell Bison men's basketball team will spend the holidays in the tropics of Honolulu, Hawaii. not a bad place to go. So a good schedule, heavy with New England teams, and some tough opponents along the way. Joe?
Geisinger Orthopedics and Sports Medicine certified athletic trainers and physicians are proud to support the Bucknell Bison. Call Geisinger Orthopedics and Sports Medicine today to schedule an appointment, 866-957-1401, or visit geisinger.org. Thank you very much, Paul. And of course, you heard about it, Ohio State, Rhode Island, Northeastern even out of the America East, Vermont. St. Mary's out in California, West Coast Conference power. Never an easy schedule picked by Nate Davis.
You have to play good teams early in order to prepare yourself for league play. And that's exactly the philosophy that Nate Davis has had, and really all Bucknell coaches have had in the last 2 decades.
Dante St. Louis has it, blocked by Newman. Now McKenzie for Funk. Off the mark. Oh, this place would have erupted if Andrew Funk able to knock that one down.
Paul Newman is doing an incredible job being active on the defensive end. It's specifically because of him they are in this position now.
Newman grabs the defensive rebound off the miss as all of a sudden the Canisius Golden Griffins have gone cold. Just 1 of 5 from the floor, their last 5 trips. Robertson faked and had it stripped from his hands. Now Canisius the other way with a chance to get it back. Big foul as Robertson pushed into Jabril Faulkner, who was trying for the alley-oop, but wasn't going to be able to slam it down. The foul, though, will lead us to another timeout down on the floor.
Not a good sequence there for Ben Robertson. Turns the ball over and then commits what could have been a really ugly foul. Thankfully, no one is hurt.
51-50, 11:30 left in the second. We'll take a step aside. This is Bucknell Bison basketball. At Wendy's, we're all about serving up fresh food, even if it means going the extra mile. When you walk through our doors, we do what we can to make everyone feel at home because our family extends through your community. 61-50, Canisius on top of Bucknell. Still an 11-2 run for the Bison, but Canisius heading to the free throw line. It'll be Jabril Faulkner, the senior from Washington, D.C. One of the most athletic players, not only on Canisius's roster, but in the entire MAC conference.
This guy really has made a name for himself on the defensive end, though. He wreaks havoc defensively.
First foul shot up and good from Faulkner. Again, his collegiate career at San Jacinto Junior College in Texas before transferring to Canisius, as his second free throw is no good. Also originally committed to Cal State Northridge before going to San Jac. So a 12-point lead for Canisius. Robertson had Ellis open but didn't see him. Now hands off to Walter Ellis, son of former Notre Dame great and longtime NBA player LaFonso Ellis. Robertson, layup good, and the foul.
Aggressive drive to the left. Ben Robertson must have heard us earlier, atoning for his previous sins on the floor by fouling and turning the ball over.
That's just the second foul against Canisius in the second half after they were in a lot of foul trouble in the first. It'll go against Dante St. Louis as you see the finish from Robertson, who's really stepped his game up, Abe, to a whole other level this year.
He absolutely has, and he has the opportunity, and we'll see what he does with it because he's certainly capable of making an impact on both ends of the floor.
Missed the free throw, so Bucknell now 3 for 10 from the free throw line tonight as their team-wide woes continue from the stripe. Faulkner hands off to Isaiah Reese.
Tough guard here.
Pops a 3 on Ellis off the window, no good, and Sotos is gonna get called for a foul on going over the back. That's a bad call.
That's absolutely
a bad call.
Absolutely.
I could maybe understand if you give that foul to Bruce Moore. There was some pushing and shoving going on, but boy, to give that on Sotos, that's tough.
I think what you'll see here is a makeup very shortly.
Here's Reese driving in. Teardrop doesn't go, and Sotos grabs the rebound. Foul was just Sotos' second. Bucknell trying to get it back down to single digits this possession. Robertson. What a move.
Great aggressive drive, driving right into the chest of Faulkner, who is a really good defender, by the way.
Ben Robertson in double figures with 10 points for the first time this season. We've already seen a career high 18 from Jimmy Sotos. Isaiah Reese kicks out. Faulkner for three. That doesn't go. Bruce Moore hits the deck and they whistle the foul against Dante St. Louis. That'll be his fourth.
Fourth foul, but more importantly, you have Paul Newman coming back into the game. I believe he was the catalyst for this run earlier on in the second half. It's good to see a familiar face back. Hopefully he's rested to finish out the game.
Bucknell's got this one down to 8 thanks to a 15-3 run over the last 6 minutes. As all of a sudden, Canisius has gone cold from beyond the arc. They were shooting over 65% at one point in the second half from deep. Now they're just a 1 for their last 6 from beyond the stripe.
Really gritty effort by the Bison to come back into this game and make it competitive again.
Walter Ellis has it. He sends it for Newman, who gets double teamed and draws a foul. That'll be number 4 against Canisius in the second half.
You can see the Bison have figured out the formula to beating the Golden Griffins. Drive, attack, get into the lane, and see what happens. Let the referees make the decision on the contact.
Kawan Johnson-Alls, number 55 in gold, who picked up that foul. It's his first of the night. And an offensive foul away from the ball. Paul Newman.
I thought they waited too long to get it to him. He was fighting hard in there. Things like that happen from time to time.
Just over 9¼ minutes left to go in the contest. Bucknell has gone on a huge run to make this one a game again. Canisius led by 20 earlier on in this half as we've seen the comeback Bison. Back at work again. They did it to St. Bonaventure. They did it to Fairfield. Can they do it again to Canisius?
Paul Newman with the deflection. I'm telling you, Joe, I haven't seen this type of an effort from him in quite a long time. I hope that this is indicative of what the season is going to be like for him.
Tipped by Soto, sending flies out of bounds into the stands. Nearly a play made by Terry Conrad right behind us.
And that's a great sign. That's another deflection. These types of things get contagious. Deflections turn into steals. Steals obviously turn into buckets.
Canisius will reset again. Johnson almost had it go awry. Now Sanks drives, blocked by Newman. Paul Newman again, his 4th of the night.
I thought Kimball shot that one a little too early, but when you have that kind of leadership on the team, you got to give him a little bit of leeway like that every now and then.
Johnson-Alls cycles around for Jonathan Sanks. Isaiah Reese is on the bench for Canisius. Bucknell needs to take advantage. Johnson gets the screen from Hitchin. 5 on the shot clock. And a balking foul called against Paul Newman. That'll be his 4th.
That's his 4th, and that's the second time Malik Johnson's got him on that exact same play. Paul Newman's got to learn how to get down and move his feet a little bit more and not put that hip out. You see how he did that over there? Can't do that.
So Newman heads to the bench with 8:20 left. See when he returns. Molson stripped by Avi Toomer. It goes out of bounds. Last touch by Bucknell.
Great hands by Avi Toomer.
Canisius will have 15 on the shot clock. Johnson guarded by Sotos, gives for Molson. Dumps underneath for Johnson-Alls. Oh, and a foul is called. Are they going to get Toomer or Robertson? It looked like Toomer was straight up and down, but they're going to get him for the call.
That's unfortunate. That was a really good defensive possession. They got bailed out with, in my opinion, not really a good call there.
Take another look. Okay, I guess he wasn't perfectly straight up and down. He was kind of, that right arm was a little bit out in front.
Yeah, I guess his hands need to be a little bit more vertical.
So Quan Johnson-Alls heading to the free throw line. Played last year at Odessa Community College in Texas. His first free throw is up and good. It's the first points for Johnson-Alls as a member of the Canisius Golden Griffins.
We saw Johnson-Alls sitting in front of us in the pregame. I was wondering why he wasn't warming up. He just said, I'm taking it all in, man.
Second is no good from Johnson-Alls. By the way, in case you're wondering, the Odessa Community College mascot is the Wranglers.
Oh, okay.
That's not bad.
Shorts. Well, I was driving a Jeep Wrangler the other day. That's the only thing I can think of.
Three from Sotos. Another one for Jimmy Sotos. He's got 5 from downtown.
Great look there on the opposite skip. Seeing Sotos with the hot hand. Great find.
3 the other way for Sanks. Too long. There's a foul. And 2 gets collared this time. It'll be Bucknell, but it'll be Ben Robertson, the guilty party. Bucknell cuts it to 6. It's Canisius 63. Bucknell 57. We'll have a 1-and-1 coming after this. Here on My TV, this is Bucknell Bison basketball. Geisinger Orthopedics and Sports Medicine certified athletic trainers and physicians are proud to support the Bucknell Bison. Call Geisinger Orthopedics and Sports Medicine today to schedule an appointment, 866-957-1401, or visit geisinger.org. There's a reason why you come here. With every visit, we embrace our customers like family. We're the name you've trusted for over 32 years. Fairfield isn't just any dealership. We're the area's most trusted dealership. Fairfield for fair deals. You're gonna love us. It's an 18-4 Bucknell run, but Canisius still on top, 63-57, alongside former Bison point guard Abe Badmus. Joe Vasile here with you at Soik Pavilion tonight. At the free throw line, Quan Johnson-Alls shooting a 1-and-1. He misses on the first. The offensive rebound had by Takal Molson. He's able to finish, and Canisius finally gets a field goal to fall. They're just now 2 of 10 for the last 8 minutes.
That's one thing a coach never wants to see, is one of their players giving up an offensive rebound on a free throw.
Molson read the pass, comes away with the steal, gets fouled by Kimball McKenzie. Not a bad foul by Kimball that time, not wanting to give up the easy basket. Force Molson to go to the line and earn them both at the stripe, as you see, just telegraphed that pass intended for him and got hacked on the arm.
It's a good foul by Kimball, putting Takal Molson at the line, not giving away the easy 2. They have some momentum. You don't want it to stop because of an easy layup, and really propelling the opposing team to continue on and make a run of their own.
We're going to have a timeout here as the officials going over to the replay monitor. The only thing I can imagine they're looking at is to see if it's going to be a flagrant foul against Kimball McKenzie. We've certainly seen a fair share of that in the first 2 games for Bucknell this year. We'd also like to let you know, if you're a fan from the Scranton-Wilkes-Barre area, Bucknell Sports Properties is partnering up with Wise Markets and Susquehanna Trailways this holiday season. They're running a bus trip from PNC Field in Moosic to bring fans from the Northeast Market down to the game December 1st against Monmouth. It's only $10 for the bus ticket and the game. That also has an allotted time to holiday shop and dine in downtown Lewisburg prior to the game. You can email Mike Trudnak at mtrudnak, Trudnak, at learfield.com to book your seats now. Gotta imagine that's gonna go fast. Pretty good game there December 1st against Monmouth. You can take another look at the replay. See, got him on the arm.
Now this
certainly no head contact, but
There's just no reason to stop the flow of this game to check out what I actually consider a routine foul.
And that will be the call. They don't call it a flagrant or anything like that. It'll be 2 shots for Tacole Molson. The free throw line tonight. Molson now a perfect 3 for 3. He's got 18 points to lead Canisius, who can get their lead back up to double figures if he's able to hit the second. A foul against Jonathan Sanks. And
please tell me
take
they're
a look
not
at this
checking.
one.
Oh my goodness.
So
wow.
we go to the replay monitor once again, and you know, Abe, I don't know if you saw yesterday the comments made by Michigan State head coach Tom Izzo. There's some new rule changes this year in the NCAA with something we've seen in Bucknell games with Bruce Moore called for a couple of hook and hold flagrant fouls.
Yeah.
And we'll take a look at this one here. I mean, Soto's just lost his footing.
Incidental contact. It's probably a wet spot on the floor. We're stopping the flow of a really exciting game for something that really doesn't deserve this much precaution.
Yeah, and that was kind of almost the exact same thing that Izzo said in his comments to reporters. He said they just had a game where they had 3 replay reviews in the span of about 5 minutes, and he's like, look, I don't blame the officials. They have to call it this way because that's the rules changes, but I don't like these rules, and hopefully we can, come up with something to, change that. Speaking of changes, look at the updates in the shooting percentages. Canisius now being outshot by Bucknell, 51 to 47%. That was not the case throughout the first half, where Canisius outshot Bucknell 53 to 43% from the floor. And Vice have done a much better job in the second half, but still need to be able to close out.
Back to your point earlier, it's those calls like that really just deflate the game. I imagine that I liken it to just the game being a balloon, and it continues to expand, and then you have a play like that and it just deflates everything, takes the excitement out of it, and that's just not what you want to see in college basketball.
Just hang on to that thought for 1 second as McKenzie moves to Ben Robertson. And a takeaway is Molson. Grabbed the pass from Sotos. Can't finish though. Toomer grabs the miss. 3-on-2 for Bucknell. Shot doesn't count. An offensive foul called against Avi Toomer.
Wow. I have to see that.
Take another look here. Watch the feet of Scott Hitchin. He's not set.
He's definitely not set.
Yeah, Hitchin was not set there.
He was not set. He was moving well. Toomer was in midair. I just don't see how you can make that call at this point of the game. That play has incredible effects on the outcome. I just don't agree with it.
Yeah, and obviously it's tough to tell when you slow it down like that in real time. But boy, that's a tough call going against Bucknell, especially in that situation. Molson nearly walked, and now they'll blow the whistle for him.
I feel like somebody in row E would call that out for him before the referee did.
It's still Canisius by 10 with just over 6 minutes left. And to get back to the point you were making about some of the rules changes, the NCAA, when they make the rule changes, they say, look, this is to facilitate open and free play and to make the game less physical. You were a point guard. If you were playing under these rules, would you like playing like that, where maybe the game was a little bit less physical and you had some more freedom to move?
I actually was pretty physical as a defensive player. I actually wouldn't want to see those kind of changes, but that's just my personal opinion. I'm sure people who I was guarding would like to see the changes being made, but I guess to each their own.
Griffs with the ball, trying to expand their 10-point lead. Sanks has it in the corner.
You're starting to see the Golden Griffins reclaim the momentum back into this game. Bringing back Isaiah Reese along with Moulton, they are taking full control, and it's much harder now to get stops when guys are under control and not trying to make spectacular things happen.
Ben Robertson whistled for his third foul. That's number 10 against Bucknell in the second half. So 2 shots on common fouls for Canisius from this point on. Sanks misses the first. Remember, Paul Newman on the bench with 4 fouls. It's kind of coinciding with this run from Canisius, though Newman is back into the game here. So he has to play a little bit more carefully on the defensive end. Kenzie guarded tightly by Molson. Now it's Robertson. Shuffled it back out for Sotos with 11 on the shot clock. McKenzie pump fakes into a 3. Bucket no good, but he drew a foul. It'll be Takal Molson picking up his second.
Bucknell's going to need all 3 of these in order to get back. We're approaching the last media timeout here.
And we'll take another look at the replay on the foul. Bucknell is 3 for 10 from the free throw line today. It's been, again, another tough night at the stripe for the Bison, as it has been throughout the entire start to the season, as McKenzie hits the first, and it's a rousing ovation from the fans here at Soika Pavilion.
You can pretty much lock these in. Kimball McKenzie is spectacular from the free throw line.
Not only spectacular from the line, but also great late in games. He's the guy on this team that you want taking that last shot if it comes down to it.
Absolutely.
He's already had to do that in 2 games this year. Canisius by 8. As the tide continues to waver back and forth. Molson crosses over on Robertson. Teardrop good over Newman.
Man, what a move. Left to right crossover. Floater off the backboard, contested.
3 for Funk. Doesn't go. Reese grabs the miss for the Golden Griffins. It's 21 points for Takal Molson. He and Jimmy Sotos tied for the game highs. Shot from 10 doesn't go for Reese, and it's rebounded by Jimmy Sotos. Pulls down another. That's number 5 for him tonight. And he turns it over.
Getting a little too fancy with that.
Reese pumps. Gets stuck. Leaves it short off the front of the rim, and Robertson grabs the miss.
I think what you're saying has a lot of fatigue now. Some sloppy play late in the game.
McKenzie guarded by his opposite, number 1, Malik Johnson. Funk driving. Blocking foul called against Scott Hitchin. That'll be his 4th for Canisius. It's only their 6th, so no foul shots coming up here. Bucknell will have the ball with 3:31 left to go in the second. It's Canisius 70, Bucknell 60. Bison trying to come back. This is Bucknell Bison basketball.
You're watching Bucknell Bison basketball on MyTV WQMY.
The copyrighted telecast is property of Bucknell Sports Properties, LLC, under rights granted by Bucknell University. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or reproduction, or any other dissemination or use of this telecast with any or part of it without the express written consent of Bucknell Sports Properties, LLC, is prohibited. It's the Canisius Golden Griffins 70, the Bucknell Bison 60 with 3:31 left to go in the second, alongside former Bison point guard Abe Badness. Joe Vasile here with you, courtside at Soika Pavilion. Abe, it just feels like one solid run out of either side is going to be enough to kind of get that momentum as both teams have kind of gone cold over the last few minutes?
Precisely. Who's going to crack first? That's really the question here. You have an experienced team who has championship aspirations in the Golden Griffins, and then you have really a team who's still figuring out who they are, trying to adjust with some of these lineup changes in the Bison. Who is going to crack first?
Free throw is no good from Andrew Funk. Out of the timeout, so 70-60, Canisius as they control off the rebounds. Takal Molson is 21. He kicks out. This is Sanks for three, rattling it home. Jonathan Sanks with 8 points off the bench for the Golden Griffins.
Missed assignment defensively. They'll make you pay.
Sotos in and out, no good. And a foul against Ben Robertson.
So you give up an open three, and then basically an offensive foul on the other end. This is not how you close games. And again, this is a young team still figuring things out, but they're going to learn a lesson from these last few sequences of play. They really, I believe, decided the outcome of the game.
Take a look at Canisius from the free throw line, 13 of 17. Bucknell 6 of 14 from the stripe. It's not enough to cover the entire spread, but certainly isn't helping as Molson is up and good with the first. He's now got 22. And Abe, when you look at, again, those last couple of sequences with Canisius hitting the three and Sotos missing in the offensive foul, just something that you'll go back and look at if you're Nate Davis and the coaching staff as a teaching moment for this team moving forward.
Absolutely a teaching moment, but really reinforcing some of the messages that I'm sure Nate Davis, John Griffin, and the rest of the coaching staff has tried to really ingrain into the heads of the Bison.
Sotos guarded tightly by Jonathan Sanks. They're giving him no room to operate on the perimeter. Inside, it's Bruce Moore having his shot blocked, but he was fouled by Jelani White. There'll be 2 foul shots coming up for Bruce.
And you really see how desperately missed a guy like Nate Sestina is. We didn't bring him up today, but this young man, in my personal opinion, is on pace to potentially be a Player of the Year candidate in the Patriot League. I think he's that impactful. He's out with a strain, I believe, but him on the floor would make a difference. Don't know if it would be a 14-point difference, but he'd certainly make a difference.
Bruce Moore hits them both. He's been good from the free throw line tonight, a perfect 4 for 4. But yeah, Nate Sestina, 15 points, 16 rebounds in the season opening overtime win at St. Bonaventure. He's been missed the last 2 games. Malik Johnson drives in. Shot doesn't go, but Jelani White does.
Offensive rebounds have really killed the Bison all night long.
77-62. Canisius by 15 with 2:10 to go. McKenzie. That's a start. He's got 15 now in the game. Quiet 15.
There's going to need to be more pressure than this. You're down 12. You got to pressure people at full court. You can't sit on your heels and watch something and let something just happen to you.
Molson kicks out to Johnson. Now it's Reese.
He's going to take this one.
No urgency from Canisius. McKenzie strips it. Ahead for Sotos. 23 for Jimmy Sotos, and it's back to a 10-point game. And we have a timeout taken, a 30-second timeout by the Bucknell Bison with 1:37 left to go here in the contest. Abe, all of a sudden, just like that, Bucknell swings it, and we've kind of got ourselves a game again.
Yeah, Jimmy Sotos with a really nice left-hand contested layup on the break. But on the other end, they're going to have to pressure. I expect Coach Davis to come with some sort of trapping, high-level pressure. You got to speed this team up, because if you let them just play, they're going to score another 5-6 points before the game's over. Here comes the trap.
Canisius able to get through it.
Got to come at it again. Got to trap again.
15 left on the shot clock. Canisius going to try and use up as much of that as possible. Three from Molson doesn't go. Sotos grabs the miss.
Got to score quick.
It's a big rebound for Bucknell. Get it back to single digits with a score.
Got to get it up. Got to get it up.
Inside a minute left. Bucknell wasting time. Sotos picked up his dribble. Bruce Moore draws a foul from Malik Johnson.
Jimmy Sotos has got to know time and score. He had an opportunity to come up on the break at a high ball screen. Just get loose and put one up. You've made enough today.
Check that. They call the foul away from the ball on Jelani White. So Paul Newman will head to the free throw line to shoot two. That's White's fourth foul. Walter Ellis checks in for Bucknell. First of the 1-and-1 is good for Newman. He ties his career high of 12, which he set Saturday against Fairfield. You know, when they brought in Paul Newman last year, there was a lot of talk about this guy's got the potential to be the next great Bucknell big man. And we're starting to see that potential realized in the early part of this year as he banks in the second free throw. He's got 13. It's back to an 8-point game and another timeout taken.
We'll take him any way we can get him, Joe. But Paul Newman is definitely a difference maker. Like I said earlier in the game, I think he's improved more than any other Bison from last year to this year. And you're seeing it pay dividends here on the floor. He's active. He really has a motor, an internal motor that makes him compete on both ends. And offensively, he's getting better each and every day.
Yeah, one of the things that in talk with Nate Davis here marked about was, look, during the offseason, during the spring, during the summer, Newman, he got himself into much better playing shape, dropped some weight, and is more athletic, has improved his footwork underneath. And, and again, he said he's probably improved about as much as any player in one season that he's ever coached, which is high praise. As, well, Nate Davis has had a lot of very successful teams throughout the years, not only here at Bucknell, but as an assistant coach here and at Navy, and as a head coach at his alma mater at Randolph-Macon College down in Virginia.
Need a second trap here. Can't give up after the first one. Let's see if they bring it. Okay, good.
I'll start fouling as Walter Ellis puts a couple of hands on Malik Johnson to send him to the free throw line.
For those of you watching at home, their 8-point lead, you're probably thinking, oh, it's probably time to turn this TV off. Crazier things have happened. I have seen a lot of legendary type comebacks in this building alone.
First on the way from Johnson is up and good. Anyone's coming to mind immediately for you? I remember a couple of years ago, it was a game that Bucknell ended up dropping, but it was a similar deficit around this time. Stephen Brown came down. It was against Princeton.
Okay.
Hit three three-pointers in a row.
Yes.
And just missed one that would have won the game.
I think the one that comes to mind is the Lafayette one that made ESPN.
That's right. McKenzie driving in, draws a foul with 32.8 seconds to go. Bucknell still trailing by 9, and Kimball needing to go to the line and hit them both here.
Kimball's been aggressive all game, and it's good to see him getting inside to the lane because he takes a hefty amount of three-point shots. And what you kind of see, a field goal percentage that might be a little distorted because of a high percentage of his shots are from deep.
First from McKenzie is no good. Paul Newman checks out. Avi Toomer comes on as Bucknell goes small. Bruce Moore sliding over to the 5 role. McKenzie's second is good. Bucknell now 11 of 20 from the free throw line today. They trail by 8.
Got a foul. There you go.
Pass tipped. Stolen by Sotos, and then he throws it away. It was off balance, and the foul will be committed by Kimball McKenzie, but Bucknell nearly came away with that steal. Just Sotos had to throw it as he was falling out of bounds. Not an easy play to make, and gave it right back to Canisius.
Absolutely. One thing I know that Coach Davis will hone in on these next few practices, situational basketball.
First on the way from Malik Johnson, up and good. He's got 10 points, and that's something that Coach Davis said after the Fairfield game. He said, look, the mistakes we're making right now, the good part about it is that they're correctable. You know, it's nothing that we can't control and that we can't work on. And that's just kind of another thing that goes into that basket.
Absolutely.
Canisius by 10. McKenzie, no good. Ellis the rebound. He throws a three and hits. Walter Ellis, a three-pointer, and it's now Canisius by 7, but 13.6 seconds remaining and a timeout taken by Bucknell.
Now, if they came back from this, Joe, I would definitely have to say that would be a first. I don't even think Reggie Miller himself could come back from a game like this.
It would have to be some kind of display here from Bucknell, but certainly not outside of the realm of complete possibility. Remember, Bucknell trailed by 20 at one point earlier in this second half. They cut it down to as little as a 6-point Canisius lead, but still just haven't been able to get back over the bump as Canisius has led for a majority of this game. I mean, they've led for 39 minutes and 24 seconds.
At this point in the season, Canisius is a more superior team. However, it's early. You got to give them credit. This is their first game of the season, by the way. The Bison are younger, less experienced, and they're going to go through some growing pains. But the finished product at the end of the season is really what matters to people like Coach Davis and the rest of the Bucknell faithful.
They get it in. Avi Toomer commits a quick foul. That'll be his 4th. We'll go down to the other end and shoot foul shots as Bucknell just, again, trying to do its part to stay in the game. Toomer will come out. Paul Newman comes in to replace him to get a little extra rebounding in there as Toomer gets a nice hand. Only had 2 points, but played some solid defense going up against Isaiah Reese, a very tough assignment tonight.
What is he ever? I mean, I would relish that opportunity if, in my older days, not now. He would probably give me 35 now. But Isaiah Reese is definitely special. But even more special tonight is this young man, Molson, because he has really put on a show.
24 points for Takal Molson. If he hits this second free throw, he'll tie his career high of 25, which, oh, by the way, he did opening night last year against the University of Buffalo, who, of course, went on to defeat West Virginia in the NCAA tournament first rounds.
This is a great 1-2 punch they have in Molson and Reese.
5 seconds left. Moore lines up a three, instead passes out of it. Now McKenzie at the buzzer, no good, and that'll do it tonight. The Canisius Golden Griffins hang on for an 82-73 win over the Bucknell Bison. Abe, Bucknell certainly turned it around in that second half and played a lot better. They outscored Canisius 41-34 after halftime, but the hole that they dug themselves with the slow start, just a little too much to overcome.
Just too big of a hole to overcome, just like you said. Again, it's really, really early. Please, Bucknell faithful, do not be discouraged. This finished product will be better than what you see tonight. There's a lot of talent on this team and a lot of heart and a lot of grit. And you just saw Reggie Witherspoon, head coach of the Canisius Golden Griffins. That's a team to keep an eye out on. They're due for some big things this year. We'll take a step aside, come back to the post-game show after this. This is Bucknell Bison basketball.
Bucknell Bison basketball on MyTV WQMY is brought to you by Fairfield Auto, Wendy's, quality is our choice, and by Geising.
I welcome you back courtside here at Soika Pavilion. You see the final score on your screen tonight. The Canisius Golden Griffins 82, the Bucknell Bison 73, alongside a bad miss, Joe Basile. Here with you tonight for Bucknell. Again, another slow start, some more troubles at the free throw line. They went just 11 of 20 tonight. But I guess, Abe, if you want to look for a positive, they played much better in the second half. You got a great game out of Jimmy Sotos and a great game out of Paul Newman.
Definitely did. Great game out of Jimmy Sotos, who really is starting to emerge as a leader on this team, who can definitely establish himself. And Paul Newman, I mean, wow, I haven't seen any better performance from him all my life.
We now send it to the third member of our broadcast crew, Paul Grippy, standing by with head coach Nathan Davis.
Okay, Coach, it seems the third game this year you guys have fallen behind, especially in the first half. What do you think when you see that? How do you address it?
Well, we always got to find out what to do about it. We had figured it out by now. We would have already adjusted it, but we've got to find a way to play with some more fire at the beginning of the game. I felt like we were on our heels, especially defensively, let them do whatever they want. They got it comfortable and put our heads down a little bit. It took us a while to get back in the game.
It seemed Canisius had the rebounding advantage tonight, too. Now you have 12 days until your next game. What kinds of things will you address in practice?
Well, starting better. The reality is the level we have to compete at as far as intensity and focus has to go up because everyone we play is good. And I don't think the last 2 days it's quite been where we need to be, but I thought at the end of the game, the last really 12, 13 minutes, we finally showed how hard you got to play to be a good team. Hopefully we can carry that over.
Okay, thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck. Have a happy Thanksgiving. And Joe, yes, they have made a habit of falling behind, and that ended up in a loss tonight.
Thank you very much, Paul, and thanks to Coach Davis for his time. Abe, Bucknell, like we were saying, they just kind of had it. The tools are there. The mistakes are correctable, and be able to kind of move things along. One of the good things that they did tonight was hit 10 3-pointers. They went 10 of 26 from three-point range, 38%. And of course, again this year, Dunkin' Donuts donating 3 pounds of coffee for every 3-pointer hit by the Bison here at home. So that means tonight, 30 pounds of coffee donated to the Central PA Food Bank. And not only are 3-pointers great because they're fun, but they go for a good cause as well.
Good cause, a lot of caffeine, can't complain there.
Our next game here on WQMY will be February 9th. Boy, that'll be here before we know it, Abe. Boston University comes here to Soika Pavilion, 12 p.m. We'll have that for you right here on WQMY. We hope you join us one more time, and thank you for joining us here tonight. And so for the entire sports crew here on WQMY, my partner today, Abe Badvis, Paul Grippy down on the sidelines. My name is Joe Vasile. Final score, Canisius 82, Bucknell 73. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll talk to you next time. This has been Bucknell Bison Basketball.
You're watching Bucknell Bison Basketball on MyTV WQMY.